They do agree $2,000 ongoing monthly checks, specifically focused on the low income, is the best approach going forward, as this gets money into the possession of the people that actually need it and also helps avoid some of the other adverse consequences, as we've seen over the last few years of too much money going out to too many people. Well, I really like this approach, and I want to share with you exactly what they are discussing, especially during this time of economic turmoil as we continue to see things changing very, very rapidly. We've also seen some major shifting within Social Security and a lot of different policies that have come out, and we all recognize over the last handful of years here, last 4 or 5 years, we've seen prices increase significantly on goods and services. But guess what has not increased? Yeah, incomes for the low income and fixed income beneficiaries obviously have not kept up with real price increases through the COLA and other means that we all recognize very clearly. This is the situation and exactly what they're talking about here as well. So I want to share with you exactly what is being discussed, and I really, really, really like this approach. And I 100% agree with what they're talking about, because here's the thing. I get questions literally every single day down below in the comment section on previous videos across the entire channel talking about stimulus. When are we going to get it? Who's going to be included? Are we getting another stimulus check? How much is it going to be? When will it be deposited? As well as other questions, again, in the live streams down below in the chat box. I get questions there. I get questions about stimulus every single day. My point is, what does that mean, and what does that tell me about maybe the health of the finances for the low income and fixed income? Probably not in the best shape right now, and the last few years is the kind of the situation. And again, I don't blame anybody for that. It has been really, really tough financially over the last couple of years. Okay, well, that's where this comes in. And again, it's a study that's coming out, and I really, really like the details of this. So let me share with you exactly what they're talking about. Now, there's an acronym that they refer to. It's MPC, marginal propensity to consume. I know that sounds super weird, but basically it's a really sophisticated way of saying, if we give somebody money, how much of that money do they spend and how fast do they spend it, and then which category do they fall into? So they have different categories here: high MPC, medium MPC, and low MPC, okay? So then they categorize different groups of people as far as their spending habits. If we give you X dollars, how much of it do you spend? How quickly do you spend it? And then they put that into different categories based on that person's also their income or the kind of their financial situation. So let me share with you the details. Now, super fast, I want to say this much as well. Remember, a few years ago, what happened? They sent out 3 stimulus checks in the amount of $3,200 in total, 3 checks across the board, $1,200, $600, and $1,400, a total of $3,200 that went out to virtually 85% of our population. Well, we know what happened there. Yeah, exactly. Way too much inflation, prices increased significantly, and we're still paying for that today. Bad situation, right? Well, that's exactly where this study comes in. Now, super fast here, if you need any help with Medicare, please call the phone number there on your screen. It's a team of dedicated Medicare experts. I did a bunch of research. Last year, I helped my parents enroll in Medicare. It was an absolute disaster. They were turning 65. We hacked it out ourselves. Not a good situation. And then I went on this quest to do all this research and find the best partners out there. And that's exactly where Chapter comes in. The partners here on the channel, it is 100% for free. If you are retiring, if you're turning 65, if you have a supplement plan, a Medigap plan, whatever it is, the initial enrollment into Medicare, please give them a call. They will help you, absolute experts on this, and they will help you 100% for free, find you the best plan with the best coverages at the best price for you and your personal needs. They will help you the whole way. It's awesome. They've helped tons of you here in this community. Thousands of you here in the community have already called them and gotten that help, saving a boatload of money for the average person. It's awesome. And again, it's 100% free, which is exactly why we cultivated the partnership, because I love free stuff and I want to help you in any way that I possibly can every single day through these videos and through free services just like this. Please give them a call if you need any help with your Medicare, or if you're turning 65, if you're retiring, anything like that. And again, if you have a Medicare supplement or Medigap plan, again, call them there. Medicare Advantage, any of it, Medicare Part D, again, they can help you. Either way, give them a call, take a picture, take a screenshot, write the phone number down, whatever you got to do. And also, please think of a few people you could share that with, and go ahead and share that information with them, anybody else that needs that help. Thank you so much, and huge thank you to them for helping so many of you here in this community. Okay, so let's talk through the details of this MPC type of situation here. Okay, so here's what it comes down to. Here's what they found. When they give $2,000, when $2,000 becomes into the possession of a low-income or fixed-income individual, they look at the money and they say, okay, $2,000. How much of that was spent in the first 10 days. They find when low-income and fixed-income beneficiaries you have $2,000 basically come into them, they spend 80% of it, or $1,600. 80% of $2,000 is $1,600 is spent within the first 10 days. That's really good, okay? So they also found that over the next 30 days, the remaining 20% of that $2,000, the remaining $400 of that, is also spent within the following 30 days. So basically within a 1 month time frame, they basically get the entire $2,000 spent. Now, this would put somebody into the high MPC categorization. That's a good thing, okay? Because this is exactly what they're looking for, okay? Now, here's what else they found. If they give people that are middle income $2,000, they spend about $1,000 of it, they hoard the other $1,000, and they probably don't spend the other $1,000. They maybe pay down bills or debts. That's not exactly what they're looking for. They spend some of the money, not all the money, they hoard the rest, they pay down debts or bills or whatever. Not exactly the best approach. And then, if they were to give $2,000 to a higher income individual, this person would actually rank as a low MPC person. In other words, they spend very little of the money. It takes them a very long time to spend the money. Not exactly what they're looking for whatsoever. But here's the cool part about this. Because we distributed about $850 billion worth of stimulus checks over about a 1 year period of time. From early 2020 to early 2021, they distributed 3 stimulus checks, again, to about 85% of the population, costing about $850 billion. Well, we saw the inflation situation that happened. We're still dealing with all that today. We've seen some major financial issues because they gave out too much money to too many people. Now, going forward with the economic turmoil and everything that we're seeing right now, as I've said for a long time, if you want stimulus, if you want any type of money going forward, we've got to watch the overall economy. And again, you've probably heard me say that a bunch of times. I've said it many, many times over the last several years. But anyway, okay, so going forward, looking at this type of situation, again, I've suggested this before. Next time round, we certainly do not need to send out stimulus checks to 85% of the population or even monthly checks, anything. We don't need to, but rather maybe the bottom 25, 30, maybe 50% of the income earners are the ones that actually need this. But the more narrow that this gets, if they just focus that money specifically on low income and fixed income beneficiaries, that money would have the same economic impacts with a significantly smaller dollar amount going out to the total collective number of people. We would not have the inflationary issues, because if we just get the money into the hands of the people that actually need it, the low income and fixed income, who have a high MPC, high marginal propensity to consume, we know that these individuals would take the money and spend about 80% of it within the first 10 days and the remaining 20% over the following month. So that'd be perfect. That's exactly what they're looking for when they distribute stimulus. Now, I've said this many times over the last few years as well. What is the purpose of stimulus? To get stimulus, whether it's a one-off check or monthly checks or whatever, is the purpose of that to sit on it and hoard it and hide it under a mattress? No, not exactly. The purpose of stimulus is they give us money in the form of stimulus checks to literally go out and spend. That's literally what they're for. That's why it's called a stimulus check. That's actually not the technical name. The technical name is Economic Impact Payment, or EIP, but we call them stimulus checks. Why? That's literally what they're for, to stimulate the economy. That's literally why they send them out. During an economic recession, economic contraction, whatever it happens to be, they send that out, so we all go out, we rush the stores and we buy a bunch of things, and that stimulates the economy very, very fast, right? But the problem is when they send out too much money to too many people, like we saw in 2020, 2021, $850+ billion going out to 85% of the population, we have an issue called inflation. We have a major issue called inflation because they print up all that money. When that money hits the economy, prices increase significantly, supply chains can't keep up, and therefore we must see prices go up, and that's what we see in the inflation, okay? So anyway, that's what it comes down to, and again, I've been saying this for a while now. Next time around, when we do see stimulus again, which we will, I know a lot of people out there saying, oh, we'll never see it again. It's the same play that they pull out of the same playbook every single time we hit a recession and go into economic contraction. They do the same thing every single time, which is print money, push it out to the people. But what they should be doing this next time here is really, really focusing that money on just the low income and fixed income, but the people that they know they could send that money out to and will spend it very, very quickly. And again, the people that actually need it and will actually, utilize that money in the means that it's supposed to. Now, here's what's interesting. I've said this a couple times. They've sent out, a couple years ago, $850+ billion. If they were to just focus this on, say, I don't know, 50 million people, a one-off $2,000 stimulus check, guess what? Or a one-off monthly check, whatever you want to call it, $2,000 for 50 million people would cost $100 billion. So they could literally send out three $2,000 ongoing monthly checks for 50 million people for less money than they sent out a few years ago in the form of all the stimulus checks we got in 2020 and 2021. That would be a really good approach going forward, especially if that money is highly focused on the low income and fixed income, those individuals that have a high MPC who will get the money, spend it quickly, and have the same stimulative effect on our economy, which is a really good thing, which is exactly what they're looking for, rather than all the supply chain issues and the inflation and all the other economic issues we've been dealing with because of all that money going out a few years ago. We're still feeling those effects today. And again, reflected in the cost of living, which we all know how that goes. It's gone up significantly. Incomes have not. Yeah, you know the whole story. Anyway, I really appreciate you watching this. Again, please, if you know anybody that needs Medicare help, or if you do, again, call the experts with that phone number there on your screen. Thousands of you here in this community have already called them. A lot of people getting a lot of really good savings here and getting all that necessary help. Again, if you're in the initial enrollment phase right now, if you're retiring, if you're turning 65, if you have a supplement plan, if you need Medicare Advantage help, Medicare Part D, whatever it happens to be, the experts there can help you. It is absolutely 100% free, which is incredible. So again, give them a call. Phone numbers are on your screen. Write it down. Take a picture. Take a screenshot. Whatever you've got to do, and they will help you through that process. And again, I want to iterate, it is free, 100% free. Otherwise, let me ask a huge favor. Who do you know? Just think of 1, 2, or 3 people that you know, friends, family members, neighbors, acquaintances, siblings. Will you please share that information with them? I truly appreciate it. Let's help some people with their Medicare needs. It's massively confusing. Again, I helped my parents last year. It was such a disaster. We were trying to get them signed up and getting them a supplement. It was just a bad idea. So anyway, the experts there will help you with all that. You don't have to try to hack it out yourself. Please don't try to hack it out yourself. Anyway, please share this again. Friends, family, social media, neighbors, acquaintances, siblings, anybody that needs that Medicare help. Otherwise, down below this video, there's a share button as well. Please share this video. Again, friends, family, social media, neighbors, acquaintances, anybody that needs this information. Otherwise, if you're new here or if you've not done so, please subscribe as well. 100% free to do so. Big subscribe button right down below. Otherwise, thank you so much for watching. Truly appreciate your support. Have a nice day. I really hope I can see you again soon. Check out the other thousands of videos here on the channel in the video library. Down below in the description or the top of the comment section, I have some videos popped up there as well. Otherwise, just have a nice day. Thank you so much, and I really hope I can see you again soon in the next video.